What's up?
What's up?
What's going on?
GBM Hangover podcast.
Part 3.
My name's Chris.
I'm David.
And my name is Craig.
Craig is one of the OG members of Garage Beers. He is the Craig mentioned in the first episode that I started doing GBM with after shoveling snow and I don't know, pretty much all the crappy things he would do outside.
Is it okay if I hang out with you guys? Because, I mean, you guys are like the original two GBM people.
Legendary.
Legend.
I guess it's okay.
Okay.
You can stick around.
Thanks for letting me hang out, Craig.
We'll allow it.
Yeah. Nice.
So today is technically our St. Patrick's Day, St. Patty's episode, if you will.
What are we drinking here?
As in celebration for...
That was me setting you up, by the way. I know what we're drinking.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So to celebrate St. Patrick's Day for this episode, we're checking out a new release from Goose Island. This is called Shamrock Stout. Pretty sure it's Shamrock Stout, but Shamrock Stout. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout. It says on the label, a hint of mint, a touch of cocoa, a lot of luck. Bourbon barrel aged stout with cocoa nibs, natural peppermint and vanilla flavors.
ShamWow.
ShamWow, right.
Wow, whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know.
Who cares?
He's not here.
No.
Craig is.
But I am. And I'm not going to try to sell you any cleaning material.
Craig, a couple years back, moved to Poland. And so he's been back every couple of months, and he just happened to be here, and we figured it would be a good time to get him on the podcast and have one of the OG members represented. So here we are.
That's great.
And thank you for having me here. It's really nice to be on.
It's like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about that. I mean, the 15th anniversary is coming up later this year, you know. And I joke about being like the new kid on the block, but I've been coming now for 8 years. So
originally I only had to travel 30 feet, but now it's 4,000 miles.
Right. We could open the door and like throw something and hit your old house from here. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, should we?
No.
Okay. We won't do that. That's actually a new person lives there. So that's weird.
Doesn't make any difference to me.
Yeah.
I would definitely have to deal with that.
Yeah. That would come back to, there'd be some blowback from that.
So what were you doing throwing shit at our house? I don't know.
Well, just Craig did it.
15 years in the making.
Yep. All right. So this beer.
Shamrock Stout.
Yep.
Goose Island. Honestly, it kind of smells like Bourbon County.
It does. The body's not quite as thick. I actually like the mint a little bit more than I thought I would. Mint always scares me in a beer. Oh. I mean, it really does. It's a weird flavor and it kind of wrecks the palate, and it's just a little, I always wonder, like we talked about this with cookies and cream beers. Mm-hmm. Cookies and cream beers also scare me a little bit because
it's either really good or it's really shitty.
Or it's an absolute mess, right? And it's just a sweet mess. But anyway, mint, and this isn't bad. It's a little warming. And I don't know whether
mint is not very overwhelming.
Exactly. It's soft. It's a soft mint in here, which is great, actually. We could talk about our other Chicago mint beer that our friends over at Hot Butcher did.
That's minty.
That's mint oil.
Yeah. That's the
Andes Candies. Yeah, that's the Frango mint beer.
Well, it's got a touch of mint. So I like the fact that it says a hint of mint because it's true.
It's softer. I like that.
This is coming in at 14.1%.
Okay. So it is kind of, there's a little warmth to the booziness too.
It sits up there with BCS. Mm-hmm. The cocoa, very prevalent as well.
Yep.
I think the cocoa and the vanilla work hand in hand to bring more of the cocoa flavoring out. I don't get a whole lot of barrel, but there is a little bit of dry barrelness in there. Mm-hmm. It's like pretty sweet, but it's not a dessert beer.
All in all, it's actually really nice. It's good.
I had my, just like with mint and rum barrel aged stuff. I had my reservations. This is not rum barrel aged.
It's not. Yeah. Right.
Just bourbon barrel aged stout with cocoa nibs, natural peppermint. And I think the natural peppermint is what is giving it that softer flavor. Because if it was straight up, I don't want to say artificial mint, but having it be natural, I would think that it's actually using the leaves. And so it's going to give you something a little bit softer instead of like a dried out artificial flavoring.
Yeah, that probably makes a difference. So
it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
I'm curious what it's going to be like when it warms up a little bit too.
We'll probably get a little more chocolate, a little more, maybe a little more mint too. But yep, yeah, I'm maybe you were getting at this, but I think my expectations were not super high. So. But I think it definitely delivered. So
this is one of those that they had available for release online, like through Osner and a couple of other things. And I'm like, how rare is this thing going to be?
Yeah.
And then it's just at Benny's.
And then I just saw it at Benny's. Right. I know. And I actually didn't buy it, when I saw it right away. So it's cool that you got it. It's actually it was a really neat idea to do it on the podcast. So when we talked about that, I was pretty excited to do that.
Oh, you never know what to expect when you're going to order a Bourbon County fresh, and it's opening it fresh. It's actually really good.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't imagine how this is going to do aging wise. Like I don't have any extra that I plan to age, nor do I really want them.
Yeah,
but
it's probably going to be best fresh.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
If the mint falls off, it'll still be a solid imperial stout, but it's going to be a shadow of its former self, which the whole purpose is to have all those flavors in there. And if it doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of you're missing half the bus.
Right.
So
yeah, there's no point in waiting to drink a beer that's getting worse.
True.
Drink it while it's good.
Well, there's some beers that do better with time.
Exactly.
As we've seen, though, with a lot of bourbon counties, it just develops that gross shit at the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah, the smegma or the boogers.
Yeah, the stout dregs, the stout snot.
When you got to get the filter out and then sort of pour it through the filter into the glass, right?
Oh, I have noticed, though, the last couple of stouts that we've had with that shit in the bottom of it, if you just swirl it around, eventually it'll
kind of go away.
It'll reabsorb into the beer or it'll be worked down. I just think that when it has enough time to sit there and get all the stout boogers, I've just also noticed that a lot of those beers develop up to 5 years, but then after 5 years, it's just no more flavor.
Yeah, right.
Some of those are not aging well.
They just there's a lot going on in the bottle when they're new.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of flavors. Yeah, the barrel ones are the ones that I like to hold on to. Especially the props and stuff, they tend to fall apart real fast. Here in Chicago, we get all the props.
Yeah.
So, in case you haven't looked at our Instagram accounts, sometimes we'll do a flight of props because we can.
Just because we can.
That's literally the theme of the night is because we can.
Yeah. And total Chicago flex.
And we will, do 5 or 6 props next to each other because we can. And some of those after a few years, they're definitely not as good.
I think many years ago, they kind of designed these beers to have people sit on them and let them develop and let them change. But nowadays, it seems like they want to sell things that people can open right away because a lot of people don't have the patience to actually sit and watch something age. They want to buy it and they want to open it and they want to enjoy it right away.
Yeah.
The key to that is you get so much that you just don't have time to go back and open them. And it just continues to pile up in your cellar. And then you have an issue where you have 400 bottles of Bourbon County and nobody wants to drink that every time you open up beer.
That's true. That's the secret. It's just buying so much beer.
Having enough beer that you forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the secret.
That is the secret. It's an expensive secret.
It is.
That is one way to do it for sure.
That's why I can't collect whiskey too much because it's just so much more expensive.
It is.
Yeah. It's a very expensive hobby.
Can you imagine if you had as many bottles of whiskey as you did, or bourbon, whatever, as you did beer?
Yeah. Well, clearly I enjoy cars. So
yeah.
So you got to pick a hobby. You got to pick one of the hobbies. You can't have them all because it's just too expensive,
For sure. My God.
Yeah, no, or get a new job or something, I guess. Maybe that's what I need to do. But anyway, yep.
As this is warming up and opening up a little bit, I'm getting far more cocoa and vanilla. The mint is starting to take a little bit of a back seat. It's still there. It's not quite a part of the foundation of the beer, but it just kind of sits in there and gives it a little bit. I don't want to say like a zest or a zing on your palate, but it comes through. But I'm getting far more cocoa and vanilla. The nice thing is it does not drink like a 14%.
No, it definitely does not. Other than the warmth, like I said, that I kind of got in the beginning, that's where I got it.
It's almost soothing because of the mint. Like, you know, not.
You said it's soft. It's nice.
I'm not like hoarse or feeling like I've got a sore throat or anything, but it definitely feels nice. It feels nice sliding down my throat.
Nice.
Yum.
You're making it weird.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. So speaking of weird, we should talk about stories from St. Patrick's Day.
Do we have any good ones?
I bet you guys do. I was trying to think if I have any like good ones, but
I really don't think I have many because I don't remember any.
Now we're talking. So you do have some good ones. Someone else has some good ones about you.
Hopefully they don't have photographic evidence.
See, actually, that's a really good story. A good point. There's no photos of me celebrating anything prior to like 20 years ago. And I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's a really cool thing.
You could get elected president.
Well, some photos will surface. There are some photos, but let's just say like since there weren't a lot of cameras and in phones and things like that, like my teenage years kind of don't exist really, other than, you know, in a few pictures here and there that were selectively kept, you know, but.
Well, and let's be fair, like everybody has some sort of dirt on them at this point in time.
Exactly.
Like there's always going to be a video out there.
It'd be like, I'm running for president. And like 20 minutes later, like, I've decided not to run for president. Yep. You know what I mean? So although, let's be honest, the people that are running for president, I mean, you know.
Nowadays, you might be able to
get away with that. Elected because of the pictures. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's all he did?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Just vote for him. Just vote for him. He's better than what we got. You know what I mean? So.
Let's be honest here.
He's under the age of 60. Let's vote for him. You know? Like, why not? Anyway.
That's a fair statement.
So, I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, there's some good stories out there about Craig doing things that he doesn't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
And good thing we don't know anybody that knows those stories.
I think it's one of those holidays. Obviously, everybody's just a little bit of Irish on. I mean, I don't think I have any Irish in my bloodline. Yeah. But everyone's just a wee bit Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Sure.
You have to be.
But I mean, of course, everybody just uses that as I mean, I'm not Mexican or Hispanic or anything by any means.
But boy, do I love Cinco de Mayo, man. I will eat some tacos also, like nobody's business.
Margaritas also.
Margaritas. If you are one that says Cinco de Drinko, fucking end it.
Yeah.
Like.
No. I got a little mad at you when you said it just now.
I know. Now I can't stop thinking about it.
It just boils up inside. Yeah. You're just like, right. God, there are people out there that need to be slapped.
That's true. Yeah.
You just ruined the podcast.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Cut. Yeah, no, that's terrible. That's actually terrible. Yeah, I was thinking about the whole dying of the Chicago River. Mm-hmm. That's a whole event.
That's happening on Saturday.
Yeah, it's coming this weekend. Yeah.
The 15th. Again, by the time this episode gets released, they will have already happened.
They will already have happened.
It's come to a point where they're not going to need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already kind of a subtle shade of green, isn't it?
It just stays that color the whole year.
Well, it gets brighter when they do it.
When it's fresh.
You know, it's fresh.
When the sun's out.
Yeah. Yeah. All those poor animals that are in there. Just like, what is happening right now? Why is everything greener?
Everything has three eyes. So I do have, again, I if I can remember some decent St. Patrick's stories, like I usually kind of hang low. I do try to drink some Guinness, maybe some Harp. I don't know if Bass is still around, but it's just easier to hang out at home or somewhere, corned beef and cabbage. I was gonna say, I really have started to enjoy like corned beef more over the last. That's like a recent thing for me. Like over the last probably 15 years, okay, I've really started to like corned beef a lot more. And there's something about the briny side of like corned beef, mustard, vinegar, like boiled cabbage, potatoes. That all is something that I didn't care for when I was a child. But as I've grown older, I've really started to like that food.
Even the thought of that corned beef just takes me back to childhood.
Does it?
Yeah, that I can remember back when I was little. We would have that, especially around St. Patrick's Day and stuff. And yeah, it doesn't seem like it like nowadays. It's not how it was back then. But yeah, just the thought of it just takes me many years back. We always had a huge ordeal around St. Patrick's Day when I was young because that's my brother's birthday.
Oh.
So I mean, growing up, it was always something, for a different reason, but still, corned beef and cabbage. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
That's something good.
Yeah, I didn't like it as a kid.
No, I didn't like it either. I mean, I still don't really like boiled cabbage all that much, but I'll eat it once a year.
Okay, there you go.
I did have a time back in 2017, I think, spent some time with Sweem that weekend because I think St. Patrick's Day actually fell on a Friday.
Okay.
And hung out with him that night. He made corned beef and cabbage. And then I think he made bangers and mash the next morning.
Okay.
So it was like full on. We watched Boondock Saints.
Okay.
Like it was like a whole celebration.
I feel like Sweem, if he isn't Irish, really wants to be. I don't know. I mean,
he's got
to be Irish, though. I mean, he's got redhead and yeah, he's like, I don't know. I don't know whether he is or not, but he feels like, I know he's German.
Irish Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely got the red hair.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He sure wants to be if he's not. Like he would embrace it.
He's faking it till he makes it.
Yeah. I don't know. Sweem, what do you if you're listening to this, are you I don't know. You should answer that question sometime. Put it in the comments below. I don't know.
I've had several instances, especially when Craig was living next door. We had like one of the first nights that I hung out with Craig. I was over there. I think it was one of your anniversary parties or something.
I think it was. I believe my parents were in town for that.
Okay. I mean, he had a huge, a big house party. Went over there, shared some beers, sitting around the fire. Then I had like the bright idea to go up and grab an unopened bottle of wine, and then took a swig out of the bottle and like passed the wine around. And then once that's gone, I went up and got another bottle, and we just went through bottles of wine. And when we ran out of that, there was like a pitcher or something of sangria or margarita or something.
I believe it was sangria, yeah.
And it had like the little spigot on it. So I just walked around and like...
We were sitting outside by the fire, and everybody's sitting around, and Chris just kind of like duck, goose behind us, pouring it in our mouths.
Everybody just held up. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I came home and like threw up everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Wine has a numbing effect. When you get really drunk on wine, it's like a numb, kind of like a body numbness.
Like a body drunk.
Well, it's just kind of weird. It's a different sensation. Like I just get like my whole body goes numb almost. It's just a weird, it's a different feeling when it's wine for me.
That was cool. That was quite a night though.
It was quite a night.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
The next morning was funny though, because it was late morning, maybe early afternoon by the time I actually woke up. I go out in the
crack of 2 p.m.
Something like that, yeah. Go out in the back on the deck, and I look over, and Chris is on the deck, and kind of wave and doing one of those selfies, yeah. And I'm like, "We okay?" Chris like, "Yeah, we okay? Yeah, we're good. Okay, bye." Both turn around and head back inside.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't remember what happened last night, but just as long as we're both cool, that's fine.
Right. I didn't do anything to make us not be friends anymore, right? Right?
Cool. It was one of those.
Great. Okay, cool.
There was another time when Barley House was still open, when Stone was doing their Most Arrogant Bar contest. Craig and I went up there, and we ended up starting to just drink through all of the Arrogant Bastards that they had on draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point in time, our wives left, and they took a car home, and then we hung out. And then the owner kept opening up different bottles of things and sharing a whole bunch of stuff. And it got to the point where, honestly, I don't remember what happened for the rest of the evening. And woke up the next morning, I texted Craig. First off, I checked the...
Were you still at the bar?
I thought in my brain, I thought I was. But when I checked the garage to make sure my car was there, and I'm like, okay, everything seems to be fine. There's no holes anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I texted Craig, and I'm like, who paid? Like, what happened last night? Like, we had no idea what was going on. I texted the owner, and he said, you're good to go. but we had to like kind of put all those pieces back together.
I don't know if we've put all the pieces back together.
There's still some missing pieces.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Some like lost archive, lost footage.
Sure.
But I don't really have anything as far as like big St. Patrick's Day blowout stories.
No. And
Well, like you said, some of those are more predictable. Like on those predictable days where you're supposed to be drinking and getting crazy, those are kind of the days to maybe not.
Yeah.
Right? Like those are kind of the days where like maybe just lay low. Lay low those days. Let everybody else go nuts, right?
Otherwise, you got a bullseye in your back.
Kind of. Yeah. Right.
Probably a better thing not to do that.
Yep.
I mean, I've had my fair share of going out on St. Patrick's Day, but I've always kept it like pretty cool, pretty low key. I have some food, hang out with some friends. I think one time I was somewhere and they had like bagpipes and stuff come in, and that was really neat.
Sounds loud.
It was loud, especially inside of a bar when it was already loud. Yep. And you had an entire like, and of course, like the dude with the drum,
the snare drum.
That
snare drums are very loud,
especially marching bands.
Yep, right. When they get the head on the snare drum is real tight. Yep, and it's that's loud.
Yeah, like a toiga.
Like a toiga. Nice.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow with a C.
Yes, ka-chow with a C.
That's a different ka-chow, not the one you're thinking of. No. Right. It's not at all the one you're thinking of. Yeah. It's got a Q in there somewhere, and the K is silent.
Qua-chow?
Qua-chow.
But nowadays, I not just St. Patrick's Day, but most holidays, I prefer to stay home. You know,
does that mean we're getting old?
I think it
means Craig's getting old.
Well, getting? What do you mean getting? I'm already there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, back in the day, it was always fun to go out during holidays like that and get stupid. But nowadays, especially when you have great beers like this, you can sit around and enjoy.
The beer's better at my house. Right, exactly. They don't need to go out. You know?
It's true.
Well, actually, it's funny because I was thinking about something you've said before, which is this idea of, don't wait for an occasion to open a special beer. Make the beer the occasion.
Yep.
Right? It's kind of the same thing. It's like, like instead of waiting for a holiday to go out and have a good time, just do it on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like just make the day, whatever that day is, that you just, hey, Craig's in town. Let's go have some fun.
Let's go to the Dutch.
Let's go to the Dutch and have a good time, right? I guess my point is like, that's a holiday.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do that.
Well, and it's the event.
And maybe that is more fun than going out and wearing a stupid green hat and pretending like I'm Irish for a day, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And again, nothing against the holiday, right? Everybody goes out and has a good time. But I mean, maybe instead of doing something so predictable, maybe we go out and have a good time just because. And then that ends up being the epic night. And
sometimes those are the unplanned nights can be the best.
Right. Maybe that's the lesson we learn.
As you get older and mature.
When does that happen?
I feel like it
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Getting older part, that does.
Getting older is a fact. It does happen.
We can still make some bad decisions.
That we definitely can.
Definitely do.
Some of us do.
On the daily.
I think I just made one.
I'm not going to make any bad decisions because I'm drinking a lot of luck.
Ah, there you go.
If it's on the bottle, you should be able to taste it in the beer.
I can taste the luck.
I can taste the luck. I'm not really sure what the flavor profile of luck is.
I think it's mint.
It might be. I remember
luck tastes like mint.
I remember seeing on Untapped some of the flavor profiles that they say at the bottom, like mouthfeel. That's not a flavor profile. Or like dark.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't really explain
that's
a whole
more
lot.
visual.
Heavy.
Yeah. Heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes heavy.
Sure does. Just like your story.
Yeah. Right.
Tastes heavy.
Yeah,
could you cool it?
Much heavier in the keg.
Cool story, Dickface. Yeah, I totally get that.
Pretty much.
Speaking of which, this is a solid beer.
Yeah, I like it. And I would recommend people get it if they can while it's around. It doesn't seem that hard to get, at least not around here. But if you have a chance to grab some, get it.
What are your thoughts?
I really like it. It's a solid beer. It's well done. Perfect time of year for it. It's this kind of beer matches this kind of weather. it's not super cold outside. It's not super hot outside. So it's one of those things where sometimes beers have to match seasons.
Right.
And this stout it's not like unseasonably hot outside, but it's not cold either. So it's a perfect match for what it is outside right now.
Again, with mint, I had a lot of reservations, but this kind of pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you.
Generally, I'm not a big fan of mint in anything, but it's subtle enough where it just gives it a little extra to the beer. It's really nice.
Yeah, they did a good job.
It does have a little bit of that like candy mint, a little bit more of the Andes kind of side of it, just less mint. Like there's no mint oil.
But it's not like powdery or chalky or anything like that.
It's not dry.
No, it's really, really nice.
I did notice on the back here the date is 11th of February 26, which is interesting to me. Does yours say the same thing?
Yeah.
Is that a drink by? Oh, it is a drink by. So they're saying don't age this.
Meant to be fresh.
Yeah, they're saying it should be drank in a year. I'm assuming that's a year. They probably bottled it in February.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could do whatever the hell you want with it.
obviously, but
This was definitely meant to be enjoyed fresh now.
that's what they're saying.
It's a good 4th of July beer.
And that's the thing. It's not like the Bourbon County aspect is going to go away, but the mint will completely disappear. So if you want to drink it for what it's for, drink it fresh.
Yeah.
It's going to be good in a year, 2 years, or whatever, but you're not going to get what it's supposed to be.
The dogs are pretty talkative
They are.
next door.
I don't know who the hell they're yelling at.
Yeah. Did Buffet show up? Maybe that's why they're barking so much.
Could be.
He's suspicious looking. You know who actually snuck into my house and is the only person to successfully sneak into my house without my dogs knowing? Is Walker. He got into my house and my dogs didn't know.
Well,
No, your dogs are probably like, oh, fuck, he's here.
Yeah. They just didn't even know. It's like my door chime didn't go off.
I know. I was there for that. And I didn't hear the door chime either. And so he just like showed up around the corner.
It was the weirdest thing. This is the only time anyone's ever gotten into my house and the dogs didn't know. And I don't know whether either the TV was on and the sound of the door chime like just matched the TV perfectly in that
Maybe he was
moment.
already there.
Yeah. The call's coming from inside the house.
That's
right. Totally. I don't know. Maybe. But it was like, it weirded me out because I was like, okay, that never happens. Like, no one ever sneaks into my house.
By the way, you're out of milk.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You're out of toothpaste in your bathroom. Hi. Where have you been?
The downstairs bathroom needs more soap. Oh, okay.
Your basement window's unlocked. Okay. Hi.
There was actually a point a couple of weeks ago on a Thursday that Walker was at Consume and he got a bunch of food. They just switched over the menu. And so they cooked all this new food and then they took a picture of everything and then they boxed it up and I was like, I would like to try that.
Yeah, they were going to throw it all out too.
So they boxed it up and gave it to Walker to bring over here. And then he just like put the whole spread on my counter. But like David and Christina showed up. Buffet was here. Walker was here. Everybody was hanging out at my house for like an hour before I even got here.
Yeah. So he showed up and we were all already here for an hour.
I'm not surprised. It's kind of an open house sometimes.
It is. Revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Norris is the only known human that can slam a revolving door.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah. He can also impregnate a woman just by saying booyah.
I saw one today. It was Chuck Norris can't turn left because he's always right. Something like that. I was like, anyway.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but that's good though.
All right. So are we done?
I think we're done.
All right. Well, that's the end of our episode for St. Patrick's Day.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. And our tribute to Shamrock Stout from Goose Island, which I guess we concluded is pretty tasty.
Pretty tasty. Thank you, Goose Island.
Really
pretty tasty beer. And thanks, Craig, for coming to see us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And being starting this whole GBM thing with Chris and
15 years.
15 years. Dude.
And in 15 years, I don't think we've ever had a green beer in GBM. So let's not fucking ruin it.
You got to brew it that way. Like, you can't just add dye to it. That's the crazy thing. It's like, that's why Miller Lite, anything that actually comes out as a green beer, like that, those batches are brewed that way.
They're made green. Okay.
Which is kind of wild. Because if you actually put food coloring into the beer, because it's already like a golden color, it's going to turn like just a dark. It's going to be so dark that it doesn't even look green.
Oh.
Maybe this has green in it. We just can't see it.
Yes. That's like a stout with glitter. I've had one of those, and let me tell you, it was very uneventful.
Yeah, sounds like it. If I had to drive through it.
The visibility would be at an all-time low.
All right. On that bombshell.
Yeah. All right.
Well, like and subscribe.
Yes.
All right. Make sure you do that. All right. And put comments in and leave feedback and all of that stuff.
Actually, I'm really looking forward to YouTube comments because I've heard that they're the worst.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you really want, like, your soul fucked,
yeah,
definitely
you know
watch.
What? Feeling brave? Leave a comment. All right. Let's hear how brave you are.
No, I got to watch.
You guys should die. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Probably not gonna, but
that's fair.
Feel free to leave a comment.
Yeah.
Mr. Brave Guy who doesn't have his own podcast. All right. Thanks again. See ya.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.